What's going on, everybody? There we go. What's going on? What's happening? How was your week? How's your wife? How's your kids? All that. How's work going? How's that book coming along? All that thems and thems. You pooping okay? Poop coming out okay? Just checking. You know, I care. That's how much I care. Isn't that like the deepest like sense of concern like a human can have over somebody else? Like, are you pooping okay? I think that's a question we should be asking each other more often. I think it should be more socially acceptable. Because if you check in on a lot of people, sometimes they ain't pooping okay. And that's concerning. And we should have a comfortable, open, non-judgmental environment to talk about pooping. Just saying. Are you getting Are you getting your daily allotment of fire pookies? Fiber. Oh my god. Fiber. Are you getting it? Are you getting your daily allotment of fiber pookies? I'm concerned. Are you getting enough fiber? Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough protein? I'm really concerned about these things. Anyways, good to see you all. Happy to have you here. Tonight's subject. Not necessarily excited about this, but we're gonna get there. Because, like, if any of you are familiar with my live streams, you know that deep down inside, I don't like to talk about Trump so much. Like, whenever I do, I consider him filler content, like, because if I just need, like, something else to add to the live stream, I'm just gonna do Trump, right? Like, sometimes, not every week that I live stream, there's, like, amazing things happening. Like, sometimes there's slow weeks, and in that time, I just kind of use Trump as filler. Why? Because there's always something going on with Trump. So, today, Trump had a rally yesterday, I think it was, and I thought, oh, I'm going to save this for the live stream. So we're going to have like a purely Trump day. We're going to like watch the rally, what he said. I haven't seen it yet, so this is like pure raw reaction. And I'm going to get it out of our system for a while. You know what I mean? You on the same page as me here? You hearing me here? Like, let's just fucking dive into this so we don't have to talk about this for a while. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about Trump a lot this year because, hello, it's election year. And, no avoiding that. We are not shy of political topics in this stream. So, with that note, we always approach things from a Neogenian perspective. Hello, I am Neogenian, and this is my Neogenian stream. And we'll get into more of what the Neogenian perspective on, like, politics is in a nutshell. We'll get into details later down the road, but, like, for today, it's, like, just in a nutshell, like, political view, or political insight from Neogenianism. I don't know. I am getting distracted by the chat. That's why my thoughts are feeling away. So today we're just going to do a big fat orange dive into Trump. Hello, everybody. I see Skylar. What's up, Skylar? How's it going? I see Angelica, good to see you. Specs, good to see you. I see Christopher. Hello, Christopher. How you doing? Skylar says 3 days sober from nicotine. That's how it's going. Oh, I envy you, and I almost feel like instantly ashamed because like I'm still trying, like, I guess I'm like curious about quitting vaping. I'm like, I should do it, but I have yet to reach that state. So unfortunately I'm still vaping. I think next week, I think I should just start with a goal. Next week, starting next week, and for any of you who are like regular viewers of mine, you can totally clip this and hold it to me and hold it against me, but next Friday, I'm not going to vape at all on stream. We'll start with that. For today, though, sorry. Nicotine is, I like it. I like smoking. I like vaping. And that's the hardest part for me. When it comes to quitting smoking or vaping, it's difficult because I genuinely enjoy it. I don't feel like my hands are tied behind my back and like I'm doing it because I don't want to and I'm just addicted. Like, I genuinely love it. So that's what's really difficult to me. It's like, how do you just like get away from something that you truly love? It's like a friend. I don't know. I guess nicotine-free vapes. Honestly, I should get into that. It's also hard on Fridays because, like, Friday is, like, it's Friday night. So it's, like, the end of the week. And that's, like, kind of a party night. So that's why I'm just, like, whatever. Vaping, smoking. I have some beers on stream sometime. Like, it's Friday night, baby. Let's go. So yes, tonight we have one topic, one big giant topic, and we are just going to watch as much as we can of Trump's recent rally in the Bronx. And I'm just going to listen to him and what he says and how he thinks and feels about things while keeping in mind the Neogenian perspective. Because ultimately, the goal, for politically wise, is for there to be a system that is holistic and encompasses like all individuality and puts into focus the evolution and the actualization of humanity as individuals and as a whole. Like, whatever system that helps humanity grow and evolve with their individuality intact, that's what I'm here for. So it's like, I'm just going to take this, like I said, I've never seen this, so I'm just going to raw react. And maybe, perhaps we'll get into some instances where we'll be like, let's skip ahead, or maybe we'll be like, hey, wait, let's listen to that over again. So, like, we'll see what's going on. Unfortunately, we're getting Trump 2.0, Trump 2.0. The annoying orange. Yeah, the annoying orange. That was like a whole thing, huh? The annoying orange. And that wasn't actually funny. I don't think I actually found that funny then. I think I actually found it annoying. Oh my god, it's not even 10 minutes into our live stream and I feel like I have to pee already. I don't know. But I'm an old millennial. So our time and our sense of humor is like long gone. We are the forefathers of random humor, though. We are the forefathers of random XD humor. So like take it as you will. I don't know. It's so weird to like grow old. I gotta tell you. Like, when your generation is no longer the new generation, like, If you're Gen Z, just wait. Your time will come. You're going to be as washed up and old as I am right now. Skylar's like, go pee. A kidney infection? Oh my god. Other channels need a pee screen. I agree. You know, some other streamers, they're like, I gotta pee. And they just like get up and go. And they don't like turn into any other screen. That's why I kind of made the pee screen. Because I'm just like, well, if I'm like away for like... And every time I get up and go and pee, it's about like a minute to 2 minutes. So it's like, just throw up a screen or something entertaining. I don't know. We're going to chat just a little bit more until we start. So just hang out, relax, chillax, and be cool. And then we're going to start playing some b-ball at the school. Wow, I just did that. Spectral is Gen Y. What is Gen Y? What is Gen Y? It's a demographic categorization of people born after Generation X and before Generation Z. That's millennials! That's millennials! After Gen X and before Generation Z, that's millennials. Yeah, Generation Y, more commonly known as millennials, born between 1981 and 1994. Yeah, that's a millennial. Congratulations. You're a millennial. I like to consider myself an old millennial, and what I mean is like we're kind of like more at the beginning of the cusp. Like in my day, I still had dial-up internet. Yeah. Yeah, we had to share internet with the phone line. 1994 to 2000 is white? No, it isn't. I'm looking at the information right here. Gen Y, more commonly known as millennials, born between roughly 1981 and 1994. When does Gen Z start? Yeah, because Generation Z starts from 1997 to 2013. Straight up. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. That is the wrong screen. I got everything all mixed up. What is going on here? Jan, get your shit together. Holy shit. I'm like, I got my screen swapped. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh my hell. There we go. My throat is really dry because I had the I have a dehumidifier that's like super big, and it's been running a lot, like blowing hot air into my room, so it's like dry in here now, so I apologize if I'm coughing a lot. I have to rearrange my screens. Rearrange my screens. And get your shit together. Put it in a bag. Take it to the shit museum. Take your shit to the shit store. I kind of like Rick and Morty. It's not like, I mean, the first couple of seasons I think were really profound because it was new, but like after a while I'm just like, it's kind of like the same thing, like run over and over again. There's probably a shit museum. Let's see. Is there a shit museum? If you're just coming in, by the way, we're chatting for a brief moment before we get started on our topic. Shit museum. There literally is a National Poo Museum. Wow. The National Poo Museum. Where to find us? Where are they? So you've read enough, and now you want to know where to find us. Yeah, bitch. Our micro museum is situated in the magnificent Sandown Barak Battery, a Victorian fort perched atop the seaside cliffs of Sandown. In what state? It's on an island. Oh my god, it's in England. Why didn't you just say that? The Isle of Wight. There is a National Poo Museum. The People's Poo Project. Let's see. Brent says, I agree with Skylar that Rick and Morty would be a good addition to the P screen. By the way, there is forever options to submit art to the P screen. If you want to make art for me to add to the P screen, you just have to message me either on Twitter or Instagram. I don't really have a way to be messaged on Facebook because Facebook is like mostly just like a personal account and there's no way to message my page account. So like I would say either through Instagram or Twitter, you can, or Discord. If you're on Discord, if you become a member, you get access to my Discord, which is kind of dead recently. Honestly, that's my fault. I need to do something to razz it up and make it interesting. That's all on me. But if you want to make a piece of art to add to the P screen, we can do that. Just message me that and I will add it on. My Discord link doesn't work. Okay. Let me write myself a note right now, actually. Okay, get off the poo screen. We don't need to fucking look at this. Okay. I'm going to write myself a note right now to work on the Discord. Because like I said, it's my responsibility to make it interesting for you all. So let me work on Discord. And revive Patreon. Okay, we got that now. I am going to pee real quick. Speaking of pee screen, I think that's a good time to just do that. And then let's dive right into the Trump rally. Okay? Let's do it. All right. All right, stay there. I'm just going to go pee. I'll be right back. Okay. So, should we get into it? Should we get started? Let's roll. So we have Facebook. The rally that was held just the other day. In the Bronx, South Bronx. I think that's New York. What do I know? I live on the West Coast. Let's see, what do we want? It's going to be... Ooh, I know. I'm going to do a 0 sugar Dr. Pepper mixed with cream soda. I like this one every once in a while. It's a nice break from root beer. So, former President Donald Trump spoke to supporters at a campaign rally in South Bronx, one of the most democratic areas in the nation, and where Hispanics make up a majority of the population. In his remarks Thursday night, Trump said, as president, he would do a better job serving Black and Latino voters than President Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Interesting. Okay. Let's get it going. Let's just jump right in, shall we? Let's make sure our captions are on. Oh, they're unavailable. Okay, sorry. For those of you who like captions, they're not available. I like captions, but I guess we don't get them right now. And why is my hair sticking up in the back in a really funny way? There we go. Alright, you want to hear it? Here it goes.
All of the incredible, tough, strong, hard-working American patriots right here in the Bronx. Who would think? Who would think? I'm thrilled to be back in the city I grew up in, the city I spent my life in, the city I helped build, and the city that we all love.
Wait a minute. How did he help build the city? How does he really help build anything?
Of New York City. And I'm here tonight to declare that we are going to turn New York City around, and we are going to turn it around very, very quickly. We're going to bring safety back to our streets. We're going to bring success back to our schools. We're going to bring prosperity back to every neighborhood and every borough of the greatest city in our land. We're going to reduce taxes. We're going to bring...
I mean, as much as I dislike Trump, and obviously, don't condone or support him, he's got pizzazz. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what the fuck pizzazz is, but he's got it. Think about, all the other politicians that are just not interesting to listen to. He's interesting to listen to, even though you don't like him.
Businesses...
Interesting in the fact that he's theatrical. It's very aesthetic. I want to make that very clear. As I'm doing the Trump, I want to make it very clear. He's just very theatrical. It's very surface level. It's very aesthetic.
And big taxpayers back to New York. Gotta bring them back. Gotta bring them back. And we're going to make New York bigger, better, and more beautiful than ever before. And that includes right here in the Bronx. And it's going to be done and funded starting on January 20th, directly from our great and beautiful White House. Is that okay? For my whole life, I always thought that this city is a monumental testament to the power of the American spirit and the American dream. when New York started as a small, rugged Dutch.
How does he remember all this crap? The man's so medicated and he's so office rocker. Like, how does he just, like, freestyle this all? Does he just freestyle? Like, is he capable of memorizing a speech? This is just so weird.
Trading post near the tip of Manhattan in 1624. What you see around you is nothing more than wilderness and marsh, but by the muscle.
Hey, Mark, how's it going? Mark is one of our beautiful moderators. Oh, Cassie is here too. I think I saw Cassie earlier. Cassie is another one of our beautiful moderators. Mark says, Trump has the charisma that comes with unlimited delusional self-belief. He's got charisma. He's got the riz. You can't fucking he's got the riz.
Backbone and genius of the people of New York, we built this city into the towering forest.
We built this city on rock and roll. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Of iron, aluminum, concrete, and steel. We made this city and state into the capital of global commerce. We turned our hometown into the bustling center of a confident, glamorous American culture, and we inspired the entire world.
Whoa!
We inspired.
Yo! Was
our
that?
hometown into the bustling center of a confident, glamorous American culture, and we inspired.
Okay, this right here, this glitch, it's the demons. This right here is the demons. What is it? What do we call it? The fuck it. Is it the Fosters and then the Archons? It's Archons! Archons. Right here. Plain as day. That's actually a cool fucking like screen. Like, I like the green and I like the purple. It's like I almost want to save that. Let me see. Print screen. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting, honestly. I like that a lot. It's the Archons, though. The Archons are also located in that dirty area behind your toilet. So make sure you clean the area behind your toilet to get rid of the Archons. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me.
The entire world. We inspired the world. No matter where you went on this planet, everyone knew that when you said, I'm a New Yorker, it meant you had smarts.
I'm a New Yorker.
You had energy. And above all else, you had...
Again!
You had heart. Big,
Archons. I'm a New Yorker. Is that how they say that?
big, beautiful heart. Everybody wanted to be here. New York was where you came to make it big. You want to make it big, you had to be in New York. But sadly, this is now a city in decline.
Oh no. What?
My life,
Archons!
I've seen New York through good times and bad, through boom times and crime waves, through market crashes and terrorist attacks. But I've never seen it quite like this. We have filthy encampments of drugged out homeless people living in our places that we've spent so much time with children where they used to play. We have lunatics killing innocent bystanders by pushing them on.
I can't even pay attention to this.
It's a sad thing. Don't worry. It gets positive. Don't worry. It gets so positive.
It gets so
Remember,
positive.
We're gonna win. We're all winners.
It gets so positive. Don't worry. It gets so positive. Rainbows will be shooting out your ass.
We're going to win so big, we're going to make it bigger and better than ever before. Remember that. So don't worry. By the time the other 6,000 or 7,000 people get in, it'll be very positive. Our subways are squalid and unsafe. The ceiling tiles are falling down, and they look worse than a third world country. The medians of our highways are crumbling. Our sidewalks are littered with garbage, bottles, and trash. But worst of all, the discarded needles from people that so desperately are in need of help. And we have mobs of migrants fighting our police officers and giving America...
Mobs of migrants. That is such a far-fetched description of what's really going on. But hey, he does it well. That's his job. I feel like this is most of, like, the intro. I think he's hopefully, what I'm hoping is he's going to break down some of these points. Or he's going to continue to ramble. In which case, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do for the rest of the evening. Mark says, I've met famous New Yorkers with that kind of swagger, to which he's alluding. They tend to hate Trump because they know better than other Americans what a leech and scam artist he has always been. I believe that. I would trust hardcore New Yorkers about Trump, and I would trust them about pizza.
The middle finger.
The middle finger.
But we are not going to let this continue. We are not going to abandon our hope and our pride. This city has given us so much, and now it is time that we are going...
So anybody who has P screen art can message me on Instagram or Twitter. That's the best place. Facebook ain't so great. I don't really respond to other messages besides, like, people in my personal life on Facebook. It's like, and there's no way to message me through my page, so the best place to message me is through Twitter, Instagram, or Discord.
Going to give it back. Together we are going to make New York City great again, and simultaneously we're going to make America great again. Thank you. I have come tonight to talk about solving problems. The simple fact is Joe Biden is not getting the job done for the Bronx. He's not getting the job done for New York. And he's not getting the job...
Sleepy Joe. Even though, like, Sleepy Donald is totally trending right now. Also, didn't Trump, like, refuse to testify in, like, his recent case, which we haven't followed up on? Which is probably for the better.
Done for America. He is incompetent, ladies and gentlemen. He is grossly incompetent. I want the job done as I did for 4 years, and I will get it done fast.
What job? The way you handled COVID?
If a New Yorker can't save this country, no one can. No one can. Get me the snake, please. The snake. Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. This is something.
Yeah, totally heretical response. I will take a look at all artwork submissions after the stream.
You know, we wanted to keep it small. Too new. This is like a love fest. Love fest. It's a love fest.
It's a
we
love
love
fest.
You. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Wow. Who said we're not going to win New York? We're going to win New York. So
this is so glitchy, but it's also appropriate. It's annoying, but it's appropriate.
Nice? We'll take back our country, and we'll do a job like nobody's ever done before. And what we did for 4 years was incredible, but we also learned a lot.
I mean, so far, like, we're like 7.5 minutes into this, and he hasn't really said anything important. It's just like, he just kind of like charismatically, to what is considered charismatic to his followers and his supporters. Like, he charismatically just sort of briefly touches on certain issues, but like in a way where he's just saying what they want to hear and just like sort of like just saying the keywords. Awesome! Heretical response. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I don't know why it says monad, because I changed that. That's outdated. Anyways, thank you so much for becoming a member. Let me write your name on the board. You can't really see the board right now, but it's there, right above my head. Okay.
We're going to get in there very fast with the right people.
Also, I love this guy who's like holding up the mugshot of Trump so invasively. Like, it kind of like overtakes everything.
Great people, people that are tested and true. You go there, rink, the Wallman rink in the middle of Central Park. You know that story? That had been under construction for more than 10 years. They couldn't get it open. It was a renovation. They couldn't get it done. Mayor Koch was at his wits' ends. They just couldn't get it finished. They couldn't get it built. They couldn't get it open. People wanted to skate before their children turned old. Almost 20 a long period of time. It was an embarrassment to the city. Every day they'd be laying the copper pipe, and every night that same pipe would be stolen. And then they'd start all over again the next day, and it would be stolen.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And months and months. They poured the concrete in small patches, and they took their company.
Yo, this sucks.
85 degrees out.
I'm sorry.
Total mess. Didn't know what they were.
This is stupid. I'm gonna find another. This is just too, like, it's too glitchy. Like, what the fuck? Hopefully this is better.
They couldn't get it open. It was a renovation. They couldn't get it done. Mayor Koch was at his wits' ends. They just couldn't get it finished. They couldn't get it built. They couldn't get it open. People wanted to skate before their children turned old. Almost $20 million was spent over a long period of time. It was an embarrassment to the city. Every day they'd be laying the copper pipe, and every night that same pipe would be stolen. And then they'd start all over again the next day, and it would be stolen. This went on weeks and weeks and months and months. They poured the concrete in small patches in wrong directions and at different heights. And they took their advice from a refrigerator company from Miami, where it's 95 degrees out. It was a total mess. They just didn't know what they were doing. And I saw this, and I wanted my children to be able to ice skate before they didn't care about ice skating. I looked down on the rink and I said, what is going on? Years and years. So I volunteered and I took over the project and did a good job. And when I took it over, I said that if it cost more than $2 million, I would pay for it, the entire amount. But it cost far less. The first thing I did was call the Montreal Canadiens hockey team in Canada, right? Isn't that better than a refrigerator company from Miami? They didn't know what we were talking about. But the Montreal Canadiens knew, and they were really nice. I'll never forget how nice they were. And they told me that you don't want to use copper tubing and gas because the gas is very delicate and it leaks. It's very fragile. It just doesn't work. You want to use rubber hose. I said, I like that.
What the
cheaper.
Fuck is he going on about?
Salt. The salt makes it so the water doesn't freeze. It's called brine. And you're going to put that under the concrete. You're going to pour the concrete over the top. It's going to be great.
God.
It's going to work. Not going to leak. It's cheaper, faster, and it works all the time. And when we opened on this, leaks, there were no problems whatsoever.
Shut up for a minute. On this stream, we do have, captions, so this is much better because
However, anyway,
listening
I
to
started
this
the project, laid the rubber hose, mixed the water and the salt beautifully together. I was down there when they were doing it. I said, you got to do it right, and covered the entire rink with concrete in 4. Literally, you had to see the scene.
He went on about how Joe Biden is, like, senile, which is true. Like, that's not a lie. But, like, what the fuck does any of this have to do with anything? Like, why are we listening to this?
Concrete trucks operated by the Teamsters.
Sir, how does this help fix the potholes in the streets? And sir, how does this help the gas prices? Can we talk about, like, I don't know, real issues?
Do we have any Teamsters here? Oh, you gotta make sure that O'Brien, he's a good man. He endorses Trump. I think he's going to, actually. But the Teamsters, it stretched all the way. You had trucks stretching all the way from the Woolman Rink, which was, let's say, at 60th Street, all the way back to Harlem. One contiguous pour. It was a day and a half of pouring concrete. One contiguous, a giant surface.
Contiguous?
The rink was completed in just 3 months for far less than the $2 million projected. The biggest expense was actually the demolition. That is the demolishing of everything that was built so incorrectly, so badly over a 10-year period. The biggest cost was demolition, taking it all down and starting all over. We opened with a ceremony with all Olympic gold medal winners, including the great Peggy Fleming, Dorothy Hamill, Scott Hamilton, and all of the others. Every one of them was there. It was a beautiful night, beautiful weather. I'll never forget the evening. It was one of the most beautiful. My parents were there. Now they're looking down on us. They say, wow, that's my son. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? He's being tried in a court with a crooked judge. Can you believe this? Can you believe it? And highly conflicted judge at that. But everybody was there, and it was really something to behold. It was an incredible experience, and one of the great experiences of my life.
If anybody would like to, I don't know, give me some context at this point, it's really hard to give, like, a solid Neogenian perspective, when he's just rambling, but I think so far it's like, I would like a leader that's competent. I personally, my own opinion, I can't support Trump or Biden. I think they're both fucking ridiculous. I think they both fucking suck. Which has kind of like been like my problem lately. It's like, I don't want to vote for Biden. I don't want to vote for Trump. And I don't want to waste my vote on a third party because that just really isn't working. So it's like, what the fuck you do? Vote for the lesser of evils? Well, that also doesn't sit right with me. That doesn't make sense to me. So I just feel, I don't know, painted into a corner, trapped, caught in a catch-22. Like, no matter what I do, it's not going to be good.
In New York, we opened it. It's been successful, and successful ever since. What a great experience.
Yeah, Cassie's like, it's great that we have to choose a president between two men who I wouldn't trust to pass a driving test. No joke. Heretical says Trump would do something really stupid with Israel. Biden is already doing something stupid with Israel. And I agree that Trump wouldn't do anything good either, but it's like, what the fuck do you do? Biden is like his whole like attitude towards Israel and like what the fuck he's doing with that situation just absolutely fucking bores and disgusts me. Like, I don't like Biden. Just because he's a little more digestible. Like, he's definitely more digestible. He doesn't irritate me as much as Trump, but like the shit he actually does. And personally, and I want to make a very distinct line between when I talk about a Neogenian perspective of politics and my own personal views on politics, okay? I want to be very clear about the difference between the two, because there is some overlap, but ultimately, you know, I'm an individual. I'm not telling you, like, how to think or vote or whatever the fuck, you know. Where was I going with that? Somebody remind me. Oh, I hate it when that happens. I hate it when, like, you got, like a string of thoughts and then, like, you forget. But anyways, just, like, I remember. So, personally, I almost don't like Democrats more so than, like, Republicans. Like, I almost hate Democrats more. Because I feel like Democrats do more lying in the sense of, like, and deceiving in that they say they're for minorities, they say they're looking out for you, they make all these promises, and then they do the fucking exact opposite. Whereas Republicans, like, weird conservative, like, Christo-fascist Republicans, you know what to expect, and when they deliver that, it's not a surprise. And with Democrats, I just feel like they try to, like, be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And it's like, I know what you're doing, right? So it irritates me more that they're so, like, they virtue signal way fucking more than Republicans do. Absolutely. Mark says, you've got to vote for the entire neoliberal, corporatist Democratic Party up and down the ticket in order to oppose the actual Christo-fascist pinheads who want to take away your rights. I mean, I guess you could say, like, we got to take care of one thing first and then the other. I mean, I guess if you're caught between a choice of, like, one or the other and both choices suck, I guess it's not necessarily a choice between which one you support, but rather which one you want to get rid of and destroy first, which would be like, oh, let's get rid of this first. And then when we have this in the forefront, like, then let's focus on this. I mean, I think there's definitely some rational, you know, qualities to that approach. Like, never mind, like, being stuck in a false dichotomy. Let's just think in the long run and deal with one thing first and then deal with the other shit, like, later. Like, we can only deal with, like, one thing at a time, right? Realistically, we can only deal with one thing at a time. So it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things. Sometimes you have to take a few steps back to take a large step forward. Thoughts. Share your thoughts. Please feel free to be open about your thoughts about that. I think I think those are interesting thoughts to explore. Let's explore that. Let's dig into
was
that.
Beautiful, and a lot of it's common sense. You like to say the Republican Party is the party of common sense. You don't go to Miami when you want to make ice. You go to Canada when you want to
Wait a minute. Did he just say the Republican Party is the party of common sense? Yo, I'm going to be the first to tell you, if you haven't heard it before, common sense ain't so common. It's not. Common sense ain't common.
Or you could go right down the road in the Bronx to Ferry Point, right? Everybody know about Ferry Point. It was another disaster, a development where the city had spent over 29 years.
Oh, is that big bridge, like, disaster, Ferry Point, where that, like, whole big-ass boat, like, crashed into, like, a really important bridge? I don't think we covered that, which is odd. Did we? We should have. Fuck.
Almost $300 million trying to develop it into a luxury golf resort, anything. They'll take anything. They were spending money. Trucks were going here, dumping, getting filled up, moving it here, dumping, getting filled up with the same stuff. This went on for years, back and forth, the same stuff. They were feather bedding. They were doing lots of bad things. But really, they didn't know how to get it done. They had no idea how much money they were spending. And when asked how much they spent, they said, we just don't know. This has been going on for years, decades. They were unable to do it. And at the time, the mayor, Michael Bloomberg, said,
oh, yeah, this is totally bad.
It's all right. It's okay. Now, Michael Bloomberg was the mayor, and he called me. He said, I have to get this done before I finish my term. It was very important to him. He was embarrassed by it. Everybody was embarrassed. It was Mayor Koch. It went through a lot of different mayors. Almost 30 years, remember that. And he said, in all fairness, he said, I want to get this done, and you're the one that can do it. You're the only one that can do it. And I said, and I will do it. I will get it done. And we got it done before.
Mark says, who would you put in charge of things between AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene? I mean, AOC for sure, but she's definitely got her problems. Marjorie Taylor Greene, we did cover last week, I think, that whole spat between Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC. And I remember, the only thing I remember about covering that was the whole time I'm thinking, these people are like leaders of our country, and we're sitting here watching them have like a spat as if it's like two high school students, like in a class, you know? And then Mark says, like, who would you put in charge between Adam Schiff and some Jim Crow era throwback bigot from Alabama? True. I think in some senses, like, when you're Neogenian and like, just really aware of things, you kind of encompass the atrocities in the world, like, as one big package. And it's hard to separate things. But in some way, I think we kind of have to. We kind of have to, like, break things apart. And I think it's interesting that Mark kind of puts that into question. Like, well, let's break it down to a person versus a person. Who would you rather choose? This or that? This or that? This or that? And even though, like, it does, again, boil down to that, I feel like, lesser of two evils. Because in a way, like, I don't condone a lot of this stuff. Because it's like Democrats are very capitalistic. That's a big no-no. But it's like, let's talk about this. Here's a weird question. Here's an interesting question. If you had to choose only one of two to destroy first, would it be Christofascism or capitalism? If you had to choose which one to deal with first. Is that a fair question? Would that be a good poll? Should I run that poll? Would that be a good poll to run? I'm wondering if it's even worth it. Like, what do you think? Like, let's try. So if you could only destroy one right now, which one would you choose? And would there be conversation about, can you destroy one without destroying the other? Like, are they so interconnected that it's like you can't even like choose one or the other? You have to like do it all. Like what do you think? Like, how do you feel about that? Because that's kind of a thought I have too. Like, yeah, like if you could choose one or the other, but like, what if well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Things to think. Thoughts to thought. Feels to feels. See, like 75% are into destroying Christofascism first. I mean, can you say you would like deal with that and then like capitalism later? Are the things interconnected or are they very separate? These are very interesting conversations. Depends on the agendas. See, okay, so Spec says it depends on the agendas. Sometimes the agendas intertwine. Sometimes they don't. Mark says lots of capitalists don't want to interfere with a woman's reproductive choices or the life choices of LGBTQ. Yeah, I see that because, you know, capitalists love capitalizing on pride, like gay pride, like LGBTQ pride, by putting, you know, products with a rainbow on it that they want you to buy. You know, it's so like, I guess they love anything that makes them money, even if they don't personally agree with it. Which I feel like, with that in mind, I could say I would rather deal with that later. Interesting. Capitalism versus Christofascism. Are they comparable at all? Or are they intertwined? They could not be comparable at all. This could be like a question like talking about like a hammer versus a banana. Target and Amazon want, Mark says, Target and Amazon want to make market share, not to offend or alienate major segments of the buying public. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's end that poll and let's continue.
He finished his term, which was great. But there were no other bidders to my knowledge, and I took over the project, spending only my money to build it. And I called all of the contractors together. These were tough people. These were tough, hard people. Many of you are probably contractors on that site. Come to that. And I said, look, fellas, you guys have made a fortune on this thing for years and years against the city. It's time we get together and build it. Let's get it built. Let's do it right. And let's get the hell out of here. We owe it to the city. And they worked so hard. The roughest, toughest contractors in New York. They had spirit like you've never seen before. And it was magnificently designed by the great Jack Nicklaus, who told me, I don't want to make any more money. They paid me enough. Everybody got paid a fortune. Jack said, I don't want money. I just want to see it get built for the people of New York, and that's what we did. But everybody, just like Jack, they said very similar things. These guys were rough and tough, and they made a lot of money, but you'd think they'd want to make more, but they didn't. They just wanted to get it built.
Oh, whatever.
And in just a little more than a year, so this was going on for 30 years, including, think of it, just a magnificent thing to watch. You had to watch these people working, just the opposite of what took place for the first 29 years. But we had a magnificent world-class golf course that many of you have played now, and it's rated as one of the best public courses in the country. And then a short while later, we built a beautiful clubhouse, one of the prettiest I've seen, built it, completed. The project was absolutely beautiful. It opened to...
Okay, but like, low-key, isn't every one of like Trump's involvements with building projects like got problems of their own, like not paying contractors and shit like that?
To great fanfare and great success. And do you want to hear the end result, though? Should I go off teleprompter and tell you the end result?
Oh, that answers my question, because earlier I'm like, is he just freestyling or does he memorize this? No, he's just reading a teleprompter. He can read?
You think Biden goes off teleprompter? I don't think so.
Well, I don't think so.
He's no good on teleprompter. No, but okay, so I did this beautiful job, and then we had a dispute over January 6th. We had a dispute, and they said, January 6th, we want to terminate.
He's like, should I go off teleprompter? His PR team is like, please don't. Please. We had several meetings about this. Holy shit, please don't.
His agreement with the city, had a long-term agreement with the city, and they sent me a notice of termination. I said, wait a minute, I just spent $25 million building it, built this magnificent clubhouse. It's in full operation. It took you 29 years. You were spending hundreds of millions of dollars. You couldn't get it done. And the neighborhood came to court totally for me. The Bronx neighborhood, it's in the Bronx. It's on the East River in the Bronx. And we went to court. The city sued to break my agreement that they had just made. And I had done such a great job for them. And it was accolades everywhere. Golf Magazine, all of the big magazines were saying, what a great job. They terminated my agreement, and I went to court.
Oh, yeah. Mark says, I wish people questioned the business is a module as a qualifying criterion for the presidency. Capitalism is toxic on the level where it has access, through lobbyists and otherwise, to buy democracy. Exactly. There was that time, who tried to run for president? He was that Mormon guy, that Mormon Republican, and his only background was in business. Really weird shit. How do I not remember the one Mormon guy? Like, I'm an ex-Mormon. Like, how do I not fucking remember? Who is that Mormon? Mitt Romney. Duh. Mitt Romney. In fact, that's most of Mormonism. All of Mormons, like the Mormon church, like all of their leaders, like their top prophet and like everybody, they're either like businessmen or they're lawyers. Little interesting, right? They're businessmen and lawyers. They don't actually have any background in like counseling, psychology, sociology, or anything like that. They're just businessmen and lawyers.
And I will tell you, I had a very good experience. We had a Supreme Court justice named Deborah James, and I have to give her credit. I didn't know her, never met her. Deborah James,
silly woman,
a African-American woman who came to my defense. We explained it, and
here's a virtue signal. A virtue signal here. I met a woman. She's a black woman. I have a black friend who supports me and says I'm okay.
We want to terminate. They had no reason. And we said what we just said. And she looked at them And she said, in effect, how dare you? This man came in, he put up his own money, he did an incredible job, you were building it for 29 years. How dare you ask for this to be terminated? How unfair is that? Deborah James, a great Supreme Court justice, that's all I can tell you. And we won the case. But it's not easy doing business in New York, I'll tell you. Not easy. So I just appreciated that. I had to tell that story. And as you know, then I renovated Grand Central Terminal. I built the Grand Hyatt Hotel on 42nd Street and Park Avenue. And as part of that, I renovated the beautiful Grand Central Terminal, did a really good job of that. And then I was very much responsible for the construction of the Jacob Javits Convention Center, where Hillary Clinton was going to have her big evening. That was not good.
Boo, Hillary Clinton. Okay, because I can guarantee you at this point, nobody's actually listening to what the fuck he's saying. They're just listening for keywords. It's almost like Pee-wee's Playhouse, like, word of the day, right? It's like Hillary Clinton. Boo! Boo! Like, I doubt, like, they're listening that intensely. Also, we're 17 minutes in, and what the fuck is he going on about? Like, New York contractors? God, I have to pee again. Sit tight. Okay.
Remember? We had the glass ceiling. You know, we built glass ceiling. She said, we're going to break the glass ceiling. It didn't work out.
Mark says the political right largely does not understand that nations are not run precisely like a business and for many good reasons should not be. Well, yeah. You can't run a nation like a business. You have to run it like a fucking society. You have to be a social engineer. You have to fucking, like, understand people and ideas and, like, how ideas apply to people and cultures and all that shit. Like, there's all this large shit.
But as long as you have a smart president, you're going to win those battles. We're winning all those battles, even with the fake Russia scam, which made it harder. But you hated that, and then you see what they want to do to us, to me, to us. And they come along, and they don't mind, because Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of our country, has no sense, doesn't know what he's doing, grossly incompetent, and our country's going to hell, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Because above all else, and I say this, and I believe this on New York, is you are different. You do know that. You know that when I called for this rally, we said, let's just have a meeting. Don't call it a rally. And so many people showed up. I said, like it or not, this is a rally. This is as far as the eye can see. You have to see the lines outside. They're going for miles. But when we saw it and we saw the love, because I called up this morning.
Yeah.
Do the people like me or do they hate me? They said they don't like you. I said, oh, thank you. So I appreciate it. And I love you too.
I love you. You're special.
But above all else.
Yeah, and I think the numbers of the rally were, like, grossly inflated, which is really funny because you'll see on the one hand, it's like, there really wasn't that many people there, like, maybe, like, 10,000, but they make it sound like, you know, there was, like, over, like, 30,000 people there. But then on the flip side, like, Fox News Network is like, the Democrats are grossly underestimating the numbers because they're mad and they just want to. It's like, how many fucking people showed up? Not as many as you think. Not as fucking many as you think. Like, it looks like a big crowd, right? Because this is like the only angle of the camera we have, but not as many fucking people there as people think. No.
Boy, look at all the cameras back there. That's amazing. That's the fake news.
Fake news.
You know.
Oh my god, you know what? We should have had like a bingo. Like, why don't we have like a Trump bingo? Trump speech bingo? I bet it exists. I wonder if we can do this. I wonder if we can do this. Oh, this is like Trump COVID speech. Okay, let me get like a... I need like a Trump rally bingo card. I don't think we have like a let me do 2024. I guess I could like pull this here so you could see what I'm looking at. Okay, computer, come on. Wow, the speed of this internet is so great. They don't have a bingo card for this one specifically. Oh my god. My internet right now is like, why? I think my computer is getting old, which is sad. It was Drumpf. Yeah, Trump was originally Drumpf. What the fuck? Where did my face go? That was weird. Oh, come on. This is making me nervous. How slow my computer is getting over time. Yeah, we'll try this one. I probably should have, like, looked into that more. Like a bingo card, but we'll just try this one just for the fucking fun of it. Let me see. Let me try and pull it up in a way that we can, like, mark it. Make Donald Trump again. Can't you just, like, annotate on this? Like, draw on it? I've never tried this before. Mark up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that works. Alright, okay, so we got a little bit of bingo. Got a little bit of bingo going on. Let's see. What has he said so far? Oh, he said fake news. Is fake news on here? Yes! We got fake news. We got fake news already, my friends. We got that down. Okay. What else do we got on here? We'll make this a little smaller. Let's see. Radical leftist claims he dealt with COVID. Best stock market. Sweats visibly. I haven't really noticed that yet. Media won't show you the crowd. Okay. People on stage visibly bored or leaving. I don't know. Vaccines are good. That doesn't make sense. Industry. Evidence and number coming out soon. Mentions unproven COVID treatment. Gas prices, sir. Mentions crowd size. No one could have predicted. Sniffing. It's a shame. Shifts blame elsewhere. And we'll go from here. Let's see. Plays coy about 2024. Communism, socialism. Crowd boos vaccines. Real insurrection was election. Okay. Biden senile routine. Oh, we definitely got that. China. And then beautiful. Wondering if we can, like, put this side by side. There we go. There we go. Okay, if you see any of these, like, call them out. Oh, but you can't really see that. Let's see. Let me put it on the other side. If you see any of these, let me know. This isn't exactly the most relevant bingo card. I just thought we'd have some fun with it. It's just kind of like a fun thing.
They'll say tonight, Donald Trump spoke to a very small crowd of people in the Bronx. It was a very hostile crowd, very hostile. They hated him very much. No, sometimes they're okay. You know, I agreed to do a debate with crooked Joe Biden on CNN with Fake Tapper. And I think they'll be fair. Does anybody think they'll be fair? I might be. No. That's all right. When they said, here's your story, you can have a debate on CNN with Fake Tapper as the primary host. And I said, I'll do it. Because you know what they thought is you'd say CNN, and they'd say various people on the show, various anchors, and headed up by Fake Tapper. And they thought I was going to reject it. I don't want to do it. Then Biden would say, I offered to debate, but he wouldn't do it. So they said, we want to have a debate. I'll take it. Well, we haven't even told you what the debate is all about. Then they said, today, they said, we'd like to set up tables.
That was definitely crowd size. Where was that? Crowd size. Right here. And do you think this is shifting the blame too? Because he's sort of like shifting the blame of like the reason there's no debate is because of them. Would we say that's shifting the blame? Is it shifting the blame? Someone answer me. God damn this delay. Mark says, Trump's paternal grandfather was Frederick Trump, originally Frederick Trump, who was born in 1869 in Kallstadt, Germany. He immigrated to the United States in 1885 at age 16 and became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 1992. I mean, there was a lot of cases where people were migrating to the U.S. where their last names were, like, altered or changed. And it just kind of, like, on the fly, too. Like, originally, like, one of my last names was, like, Torgensen. It used to be Jorgensen. But, like, you walk up to the line and some guy says, all right, what's your last name? And you're like, Torgensen. And they're like, Torgensen? And you're like, no, Torgensen. And they're like, Torgensen, okay. Like, just, like, put it down like that. Like, that's kind of, like, how that shit went. I'm gonna mark... I think he's shifting the blame here. He's saying, like, he couldn't do the debate with Joe Biden because something that they've said or done.
So you sit down. I said, I don't want to sit down for a debate. Let's go. At some point, so we're not sitting down. We're going to be standing up for the debate. And here's what you know. If crooked Joe Biden makes it through the debate, which I think he will, they're going to say it was one of the great debate performances in history. One of the greatest debate performances, but there they are. And we're on every network tonight. I don't know what's going on. We're on Fox, we're on all of them, so have a lot of fun, but we're on all of them. So they understood before anyone how big this would be. And you got to see what's back there coming in. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
But above all, New York.
What does plays coy about 2024 mean? What does that mean? Like, what constitutes as playing coy about 2024? This might be... See, this bingo card might be a little outdated. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that would mean. Also, I can't see if he's visibly sweaty.
Have something called common sense, and we do have common sense. An old-fashioned American common sense is exactly what I...
Mark says lots of last names were changed right on Ellis Island. Yeah, no, straight up, because a lot of times it was just like, well, I can't pronounce your last name, so I'm just going to make one up for you. And that's your last name now that you're an American citizen. So that's why you get, like, really odd, like, last names sometimes. Like, for people who are, like, culturally just, like, outside of anything that's, like, a white American. Skylar says he probably is sweaty. He is probably sweaty, but we gotta be charitable. We can't cheat here. I think the shift's blame elsewhere with him bagging out of the debate is justified, though.
Intend to bring back to the White House, just like we had for 4 years. You know, we had 4 of the greatest years in the history of our country. We rebuilt the military, we cut taxes, the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cut in history. We defeated ISIS. And we did it in about one
Too bad ISIS isn't on the thing.
100th the time. They said it would take 4 to 5 years. It took me like 2 months, right? Because we had an incredible military, and we're not allowed to show. They had Afghanistan, the worst pullout, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. It's probably the reason, a piece of it, why Russia went into Ukraine. They said, these people are incompetent, we'll go in. So Russia going into Ukraine would have never happened. None of this stuff that you see would have happened. Israel would have never happened, the attack on October 7th. And you wouldn't have had inflation. As soon as I get back into the Oval Office, I am going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call your mayor and your governor, and I'm going to say, this is President Trump, and I want to come back and help. Look, you have a Democrat governor, you have a Democrat mayor, and we are going to work with them, and we're going to get this state and this city at a level that it's never seen before, frankly. I think we can do that, too. We're going to be helping them a lot. Much more than anybody would expect. It doesn't matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans, because this is about our city and our country, and it's really about the people. And in this case, the people of New York City, New York State. We're going to make you very, very happy. And Biden can't do it. He doesn't know he's alive.
Another senile Biden thing. We'll just mark it again.
You know, see all the stairs here? Stair, 2 of them behind me, 1 in the middle.
You see these stairs? You go up the stairs, you go down the stairs. There's stairs. You can go up and down, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to take you up the stairs. That's right, we're going to go up. Not 1, not 2, not 3 stairs, but all the stairs.
When he's finished with his 2.5 minute, you know, do you ever watch a speech? They last for about 1.5 minutes. When he's finished with his speech, he can never find the stairs. He can never find the stairs.
These are the very rare moments where what he says is fucking true and hilarious. Like Joe Biden, when he finishes a speech, he can't find the stairs. The stairs everywhere. He doesn't know. I know where they are. Like, I mean, you can't fucking make that. You can't script this shit. It's really fucking funny. He's not reading this off a teleprompter. You're joking. Like, what parts is the teleprompter and what parts is he just fucking, like, gesturing like this the whole, like, and just saying what the fuck ever? Like, I don't even know. The man wears diapers.
When he does, it's not a pretty picture either. Thank goodness for Secret Service. They come up and they guide them off. No, this is not what we need. When you see President Xi of China, when you see Kim Jong-un of North Korea...
China, we got it. China. That counts. I'm sorry, that counts. He said it.
Biden, and you see all of these people, they're at the top of their game, whether you like it or not, and they can't believe that this has happened to the United States. We have lost respect all over the world. We were the most respected country in the world 4 years ago. We were respected more than our country was ever respected 4 years ago, and now we're being laughed at. We're like a joke, and that's not going to happen.
Oh no, we've been a joke for decades, okay? Let's be clear here. America has been a joke for decades now. Frankly, since the beginning, if you want to be real. Since its very birth, America has been a joke.
That's not going to happen. We're going to do whatever it takes to fix our roads, bridges, and highways. We're going to take back our parks, not just for children, but for everybody. We're going to renovate New York's subway system so it no longer looks like it hasn't been cleaned since 1932, but rather it will be the most beautiful transit system anywhere.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Does that count? Does that count as a beautiful here, down here in the far right corner? It'll be the most beautiful transit system. Does that count? Yes, sir. I got a yes, sir. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, we're doing it.
In the world.
The most beautiful transit system anywhere in the world. I don't know, like, how he... What kind of fucking drugs is he pumped up on that keeps him going like this? Like, for real. I gotta know. Like, what fucking medications is he on to keep up this demeanor? Also, how do you develop this demeanor growing up? This is, like, wild.
I don't know if you know it. It's by far the biggest infrastructure, subway infrastructure in the world. And we're going to make it by far the biggest. And now we're going to make it by far the best. We're going to make it beautiful again. And a lot of it is topical. You know, the expensive work people don't understand because they're not in construction. It's topical work. It's topical. It's built. The expense.
we got speed. We got Botox. What else? Okay, that's a good question. Everybody type in the chat what you think Donald Trump is being pumped full of. Like, what drugs is being fucking shot into his ass? Like, let me know. Everybody take a guess. Everybody. We won't continue till everybody answers. No, just kidding. But I do want to know. Like, I want to know, like, y'all just guess it and say several things. Like, I don't care. Just tell me in the chat what Trump is pumped full of right now. Booty juice.
The hard, the labor, the money. The big stuff is done. We're going to make it beautiful. We're going to make it good. And most importantly, we're going to let New York's finest do its job. The transit cops do their job. We're going to make it safe. Most importantly.
Oh, also, we were talking about the square that says plays coy about 2024. I think Cassie actually had, like, an interesting answer. Like, way back up here. Way up here. Way up here? Did I miss it? No, I swear Cassie said something about playing coy about his trials. Yeah. I think in a nutshell, that's what Cassie was saying. I did see that briefly. I think I just, like, was on to something else. Sorry, Cassie. Okay. Oh my god. So what is Trump being pumped full of? We got speed, Botox, bleach, Viagra, booty juice, L-Dopa, Desoxin, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, not weed, Rogaine, snortable combos of Ambien with amphetamines. Hey, that's my kind of cocktail. Testosterone, supplemented. Cassie says, yes, I did say that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Would we agree, that we would mark the plays coy about 2024 in reference to his trials? Like, would we agree that that's the meaning of that square? Man, these headphones, sometimes they just squeeze my fucking pumpkin, like, way too much. Like, I feel like my eyeballs are gonna bulge because these headphones squeeze my head so much. I'd like to be able to set up my situation where I don't need to wear headphones, but it's really difficult because, like, I have to hear it through speakers, but I can't have the speakers loud enough that they pick up through the microphone, or just stay low enough that I can do the sound over it. Hello, David says, greetings everyone, it's been a while, been working a lot. I totally understand. This guy might win. Unfortunately. Let's just say if Trump wins the election, I wouldn't be exactly surprised. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be stressful. Oh my god. I just realized that. You know, our live streams and our coverage of what's going on in the world, it's going to get really intense, like, come election time. Oh my fuck. I better start some yoga right now. I mean, I better create a routine. Like, a routine to manage the stress, like, right now. Like, we should all start, like, mentally and emotionally preparing immediately. Like, just so that we don't get, like, knocked off our rockers. Mark says his only vitamin supplement is UV light in the bunghole. 4 years and he's out of here. Yeah, I don't know. There's some shady shit going on behind the scenes, though. Like, I just... Also, if he becomes president, he could pardon himself, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like if that actually happened, there would be impeachment, like, immediately. Or at least an effort to impeach. An effort to impeach would be, like, happen immediately. Oh my god, it would be so stressful. My blood pressure is raising already. I always wanted, like, to understand politics, like, in my younger years. And I don't know, it's weird. It's like, for some people, like, if you're just not into politics, it's like, how do I get involved? It kind of just has to start with, like, politics, like an issue or something that is personal to you or pertains to you, like, that becomes political, and then you just start jumping into that and seeing, like, how each politician responds and, like, what the opinions of each politician has about that. And COVID was, like, the biggest part for me. The pandemic was the biggest part for me because my first, like, opportunity to really, like, dive into, like, who is what from what party and what is their opinion and what position do they have and who do they influence, this, that, and the other, like, all of that, like, political jargon, that started becoming clear to me when the pandemic started and everybody started politicizing wearing a mask. Like, just that simple thing. And then, like, I just dove in. That was my diving point. And then from there on, every issue that was brought up, I was able to have a foot in the door and, like, get a better grasp, and that expanded and outwards and outwards and outwards. So I don't know if that helps anybody who feels like maybe politics is, like, so outside of their realm, but, like, you just have to get your foot in the door and then just expand from there.
And importantly, for the people that are before me today, we are going to make life in New York affordable again. It's gotten totally out of control.
Oh yeah, I think our biggest point was, like, when it comes to plays coy about 2024, we're gonna associate that with, like, any weird sort of, like, vague reference to his trials.
The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world. Look,
Shuffles.
We had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%. It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are. It doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans. We all want better opportunity. I'm not just going to promise it. I'm going to deliver it, as I did just a short while ago. Think of it. You know, when I went down to Washington, I was only there 17 times. I never stayed over. I didn't know that society. And we had great people. Look at what we did with economic development, with the rebuilding of our military, with the tax cuts, we had great people. But we also had some people that I wouldn't have used if I had my choice. Now I know everybody. I know the smart ones. I know the dumb ones. I know the killers. I know the weak ones. I know them all.
What?
And you're going to see.
What the fuck?
But everyone was better off. We had the greatest economy in history. Everybody was better off under a man named President Donald J. Trump. Have you ever heard of him? Have you heard of him? We had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon, and actually times when it was much lower than that. We had a record low poverty.
Dang, why isn't gas mentioned on this? Like gas prices.
Rate for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We had the best poverty rate in terms of the positive number ever in our history for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty. Nothing like that has ever happened in our country. And the real middle class income rose over $6,000 a year. Think of that. Under Biden, it's a disaster. Real middle class income has fallen over $2,000 a year. That's a lot. That's a difference of $8,000. Real earnings for African Americans are down 5.6%. African Americans are getting slaughtered.
Wherever these numbers are coming from, I don't fucking know.
And these millions and millions of people that are coming into our country.
Anything about migration, that's a shame. This is kind of a bad bingo card if it doesn't mention that. That's why I feel like this is a little bit outdated.
The biggest impact and the biggest negative impact is against our black population and our Hispanic population, who are losing their jobs, losing their housing, losing everything they can lose.
Oh, hello. You're right, Skylar. Right here, big as fuck, gas prices. Totally mentioned gas prices. We got that. I don't know why they're sir. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
They're the ones that are affected most by what's happening. Not only the fact that you've lost the use of your schools, your parks, and your hospitals. Joe Biden's inflation.
Goddamn, build the wall is not on this. Yeah, this bingo card is way outdated, sadly.
Do they have that? Do they have that? Speaking of the wall, so we built much more wall than we built 571 miles of wall. We had the safest border in history. We were going to put up within a period of 3 weeks. It was all built, laying there, ready to be put up, designed by the Border Patrol, who are incredible people, ICE, who are incredible people, all together.
What, that shitty wall?
I wanted to put up concrete plank for the contractors here. They didn't want it. They had to have hardened steel. They wanted 6,000, 7,000 pound concrete.
Didn't he not pay that contractor, though?
They wanted different materials, harder to cut. So we had very hard steel, very good stuff. Everything was good. We had the panel on top. It was called an anti-climb panel. We had the best wall, and it was going to be, we're going to add 200 miles of wall. It would have taken about 3 weeks. And then we had the rigged election, and you know what happened after the rigged election? They took the wall, and instead of putting it up, they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. And I said, these people really do want to have an open border. And that's what's happened to our country. Our country has gone to hell because of it. It's gone to hell. But I want to thank Mexico. I want to thank, because I went to Mexico.
I don't know. I feel like border should be on here. I feel like this is a bad bingo card. Why is it going to the end scene? Oh, you know what? Probably because, like, I have a key on my keyboard, like, programmed to go there. You know what? I think we need to eventually make our own Trump bingo. Like, straight up. Because, like, I feel like we should have done that at the beginning of this. Is created our bingo card. You know, as the election goes forward, like, we'll do that. So we need to keep in mind a bingo card for Biden. Okay, learning curves. We'll proceed, though. For a little while longer. I mean, honestly, like, how much of this shit do we really want to listen to?
We really have no choice. He said, send them back. There's a chance, send them back. Nobody wants to send anybody back, but you have no choice. This is not sustainable by any country, right? This is not sustainable. But we had Mexico, and we went to Mexico, and I said to the president of Mexico, good man, by the way, a very good guy, happens to be a socialist, but these are minor details. I said to him, Mr. President...
Socialist? He mentioned socialist. Does that fall under communism, socialism? Is that reaching, or does that count? Because that was like that was an out-of-pocket comment. Like, he just kind of like said that last second. Chat our feelings. We gotta, it's off. Okay. We gotta do it. Okay, let's, we're even. Yeah, but like, okay, I'm just thinking. Like, he said socialist, like, communism, socialism, like, is he, would he think there's a difference, or would he conflate the two? I don't know. Let's continue, and I'll let chat amongst yourselves if you think that counts.
We need you to give us 28,000 soldiers to guard the wall. He said, well, how much would you pay for that? I said, nothing. I'm not paying anything. You're sending them in. They're coming in caravans. You have to do it. And he smiled and he laughed. He thought it was funny. He thought it was like, you know, I was kidding. I said, no. They're coming in through Mexico. We need 28,000 soldiers, free of charge. And he said, Donald, I cannot do that. I said, here's what you do. I don't want to embarrass you, so I'm not going to negotiate with you. Send me a negotiator. Give me a top negotiator. I want to see him. And he came to the White House, a very handsome man. dressed in one of the most beautiful suits I've ever seen. In fact, I was going to ask him, who is your tailor? I'd like to buy one of those suits, but I didn't think it was appropriate to start the negotiation that way. And I said, you know that you're going to give us 28,000 soldiers, don't you? No, 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 we are not going to. We will never do that. I said, of course you're going to. 100%. He said, we're not going to. He said, no way. I said, way. You're going to give it. He said, 100%. And you're also going to have a new policy. It's called Remain in Mexico. Nobody can come into our country until they're free.
Remain in Mexico?
And then you're going to have catch and release into Mexico. You know, we have catch and release into our country. Even if they're criminals, we catch them, we check them, we see they're a criminal, we release them, we say, come back 5 years later, you'll have a court case. Nobody ever comes back. So I said to the State Department, and a wonderful woman, but a bad negotiator, I said to the State Department, give me a top 10 list. Give me a top 10 things. I said to ICE and Border Patrol, give me a top 10. They gave me a top 10 list. And a lot of it had to do with all of the horrible disease that pours through. People that have highly contagious diseases are coming into our country at levels that we've never seen before. So many other things. And they gave me a top 10 list, but they laughed. They said, sir, they'll never do. We've been trying to get this stuff for 25 years. I said, if I were a betting man, I would bet you any amount of money. You'll have it very quickly. So this man comes in. I said, we want a policy, remain in Mexico, Tijuana. Hundreds of probably the fastest growing city in the world for a period of a year. That place was loaded up with people. They weren't allowed into our country. And we had already built a lot of the wall, a tremendous amount, 571 miles. Without that, we couldn't have ever done this. And he said that we're not going to do it, sir. I said, you are going to do it. He said, we're not. I said, here's the story. I'm not going to mess around with you. I have to go. I have a very important meeting, much more important than this. I said, here's the story. You're either going to do it. It's Friday evening. Or on Monday morning at 7 o'clock.
Oh my
in the
God!
morning,
We
are going to put a 25% tariff on everything that Mexico sends into our country, and then
I feel like I'm just like listening to Grandpappy like tell his story, and I've just like already like tuned out.
Person, we're going to stop at a 100% tariff. And and I had it literally written. I'm saying, should I sign it or not? Am I going to waste the ink or not? Because I'll sign it right now. On Monday morning at 7 o'clock, you're going to pay up to $100 tariff. He said, sir, I'd like to make a phone call. I said, I wonder who you're going to call. Let me guess. You're going to call the president. He comes back 3 minutes later. Sir, it would be our great honor to give you 28,000 soldiers free of charge.
I think that counts as a sir. He just said the word, sir. We're going to take it.
It would be our great honor to
center spot is like a freebie anyways.
Have a policy of remain in Mexico. Anyway, and we got all 10 things. It took about like 10 minutes. It was not. And now the other day, did you see? Mexico said to crooked Joe Biden, we want $20 billion a year just for the privilege of negotiating with you. We want you to pay us. Did you see that? It was a little article. There's a slight difference, would you say? He would have never asked that. He would have never asked it. So he said they want 20 billion. 20 billion, not 20 million's a lot. They want 20 with a B, $20 billion a year, just for the privilege of negotiating with Mexico. And you would never get the things that they gave up, remain in Mexico. They gave up catch and release in Mexico. They gave up they gave up everything. They gave up everything. They did. They did give up the Constitution. Joe Biden, his inflation has cost the average New York household a staggering $24,000.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. If it
left, 5 feet right, 5 feet left, 5 feet right. Somebody would say they have gas. Somebody would say they have nuclear. Then they'd rest for a few years. Then they'd fight again. But we blew the hell out of one side, Iraq. So now Iraq is a subsidiary, essentially, of Iran. Congratulations to the geniuses that got us into that mess. Because Iran essentially controls, and that was the other thing. When I was president, Iran was broke. They had no money. I said to China, if you buy, I bought a lot of oil. I said, if you buy anything, but if you buy oil from Iran, we are going to do something to you. What's that? You're not going to do any business in the United States. He said, well, that's the end of buying oil from Iran. Every country was told that. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for anything. Then Biden comes in and he takes all of the sanctions off. And they go out, and now Iran has $223 billion. Congratulations. And we're the only ones for 5 hostages. We just paid $6 billion. And for electricity for Iraq, we just paid $10 billion. And think of it, Iraq has billions of dollars that we're paying for their electricity. So we were in a position, there was no terror, there was no threat, there was no nothing. And now Iran has become a big threat again.
What?
And I tell you, I see a lot of flags from it right out of Israel, right? That's right out of it.
David says, Jan, you should cover Project 2025. I have. I definitely have. I can't remember when, but I think it was like months ago I did cover that. But I could definitely cover it again in the future just to, do a little refresher on that. I'm trying to find, like, better talking points he's giving, but it's just so rambly. Like, how does this old fart ramble for fucking an hour and a half?
Israel.
All right. Skipping ahead more.
Price a house. And I'd say, how did you price in those days, Dad? He said, pricing was everything. He said, I'd sell a house for $3,999.99. And that 1 penny made the difference between selling it and not. 1 penny. If I made it $4,000, I wouldn't sell. But psychologically, $3,999.99. And he sold houses. And guys wouldn't sell them. But he used to tell me that 1 penny, sounds crazy, but it wasn't crazy. Psychologically, people thought they were buying it for $3,000, not $4,000. It's sort of like getting an 89 on a test in school, or a 90. A 90's an A, and an 89, 1 point, is a B+. Another lesson, when times are tough, sometimes that's when you perform the best. You have to learn that about yourself. You have to learn it about yourself. Are you okay? Are you guys okay? Okay, take your time, yeah? Take your time, doctor.
Take your time.
Any doctor, please? Doctor in the house. Thank you.
What the fuck?
You okay? You take your time, darling. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Susan's out. What, is somebody dying in the crowd? You know what? Let me just speed this up a bit. Let me
Take
speed
your time,
it up.
Doc. We have time. Some people waited here for 2 days. It's tough. It's tough. Thank you. Plenty of time. That's good. Water.
Oh, he drank with one hand. Look at that. Oh my god. Pause. Get on with it already.
She doing all right? She doing okay? Thank you. Plenty of time. Okay? You okay? Thank you. Doctor, thank you very much, doctors. Got a lot of doctors in the house. Thank you very much.
A lot of doctors.
Thank you, darling. That's great. That's great. Great job. People do a fantastic job here. But it's hot, and it's been a long wait, right? Long wait. Thank you very much, Doctor. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know she's going to be okay because she's so tough. Some of the greatest days of my business career were in the toughest times, but I enjoyed waking up every single morning and go to battle. A lot of people say to me today, the toughest business people that you know about, could I ask you a question? How do you do it? I say, do what? How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Where do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How can you want to do with what?
Well, I'll tell you what. I take one foot and I put it through one pant leg. And I take the other and I put it through another pant leg. It's really simple. You see, other people can't do it. Joe Biden can't do it. Oh, no. No. He needs the Secret Service to come and put his pants on for him, not me. I put my pants on one leg at a time, you see? That's what we're going to do in this great nation.
What you do, they're after you. These horrible human beings are after you all the time. Impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, lawsuits all up. And they're doing it to injure the political opponent of an incompetent candidate because he can't run fairly and squarely. And I say, you know what I do? I just do it. I put on the blinders. I say, I just do it. We do it. And the other question they ask me is, will it happen again? And we have to make it too big to rig. We got a lot of great people watching. We have to make it too big to rig. But one of the things you need in success is momentum. You need momentum. You got to have, and when you have that momentum going, there's nothing that can stop you. And I tell the story of Bill Levitt. Bill Levitt was a great real estate man, great. Levitt towns all over the country. One of the most successful real estate people at a certain age ever. And he built these massive towns that were, you know, there was nothing like them at the time. And very successful. And he was offered a lot of money to sell to a big public company. And he decided to take it. He was a young man. He was in his 40s. And he said, darling, I'm going to take it. Told his wife, I want to take the money. And for 20 years, he went out, he bought a yacht. He lived a beautiful life. He lived in the south of France. But he got bored. And 21, 22 years later, he said, I want to make a comeback. I can't stand this life anymore. I want to make a comeback. And he went to the company that he sold to, a big public company that did very poorly. They had no idea what they were doing. You know, he used to, by the way, he used to pick up every nail, every piece of wood, he used to sell the sawdust, everything. He would say every penny was a major event. And now you had this big public company. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. So he went back and he made him an offer. They didn't want to sell, and he paid a little more. And he ended up buying it for an okay price.
Okay, we're skipping ahead.
You have a winner, you have a loser. It's okay. I won once. It was a big upset, I guess. I don't know why it was an upset, because I'd go and I'd have 50,000 people at a rally. She'd go and have 200 people. And then they say, why did I win Michigan? Why did I win Pennsylvania? Why did I win all these states that a Republican hadn't won in many years? Why? And by the way, we're up in Pennsylvania, we're up in Michigan, we're up in New Hampshire today, we're up in Florida at numbers that you wouldn't even believe. But I also think it's very important to know what you want. You have to set your sights high, set your sights so high, higher than you ever thought possible, and make your goals big and go after it. That's why I say we won't just make New York a little better.
I gotta say, I don't think we're filling anything out on this bingo card because it's a little bit out of date. But it was fun trying. Next rally we watch for like Biden or anything, like because we're entering in that time where like we're in the election time, so we'll be better prepared in the future. But let's stomach through this as much as we can, give a little bit of thoughts and feelings, and then I think we're pretty much done for tonight. Like, this is it. Like, this is the only thing. And then we're going to talk about the schedule for doing game streams, because we do need to have a little chat about that, my friends.
Say, we want to make New York a lot better than it ever was before, right? And finally, you have to take pride in your accomplishments. Do not take for granted what you've achieved. Forget it. It's over. It's good for your confidence, but it's over. Go forward. Think to the future, not to the past, but learn from the past. You know, wherever I go, I know that if I could build a skyscraper in Manhattan, I could do anything. It's very tough. Building a 68-story building on Fifth Avenue is hard. With all you have to deal with, I mean, you have unions, you have legal entanglements, property rights, zoning. You're dealing with the smartest and toughest contractors in the world. These are killers. Many of you are here.
You mean the contractors that you fucking don't pay and scam? I mean, all of that shit? Because, like I said before, I'm pretty sure all of Trump's dealings with, like, buildings and stuff, or building, and contractors, there's always some fucking shit or bullshit where, like, contractors aren't getting paid properly.
here today. Thank you very much. But by comparison, talking to world leaders, I believe, is easier. And I've done them both. Talking to a world leader, if you're smart, you know, you have the United States behind you. Now, the country's not the same, but it'll be better and stronger and bigger in a very short period of time. You know, we have...
I mean, like, I'm not surprised, really, but it is baffling how, like, just, like, an hour into this, and skipping a little bit, like, he doesn't really talk about any concrete issue. Like, you don't really have a linear sense of, like, okay, we're going to talk about this, then we're going to talk about that. It's like, he's like, here, there, everywhere, not really saying much, just kind of, like, filling everything, and, yeah, just, like... And Cassie says, every story is just him, like, bragging about shit. It's very narcissistic. I mean, like, we all know that. We all know that he's, like, an extreme narcissist. But, like, this is what they do. This is narcissism. You just, like, constantly talk about yourself. Yeah. Susan says he doesn't say anything. It's just ramblings, like... stream of consciousness, and he mentioned a teleprompter. Like, in the very beginning of this, I'm like, is he freestyling this? Or is this a speech he's memorized? Or, like, you know, worked on? And then, like, later he mentioned a teleprompter. He's like, I'm gonna go off teleprompter. Biden wouldn't do that. Oh, no, but I will. And it's like... is this really, like, is this all literally, like, written into a teleprompter? And I'm like, can he read? Like, I just don't know, like, what the fuck, like, I'm just curious as to what's the process there. Like, what, like, when you are a part of Trump's team, and you're helping him, like, get on stage and do that, like, does he just, like, do whatever he wants? Like, does he take direction? And how much direction? Like, what's the technicalities there? Like, what's the I don't know. Situationally, how does that work?
So many different things we could discuss having to do with the Republican Party. But the biggest thing, I think, and I really mean this, and it's happening more and more, and I see it all the time, because really you have to be the party of common sense, as opposed to the Democrat Party. It's a party of failure, extremism, and gross incompetence, and that's what it is.
Oh, that's so projection. But I wouldn't say any the Democratic Party or the Republican Party is any party of common sense. There is no party of common sense. As I said before, common sense ain't so common. But, like, to say that Democrats are the party of failure, extremism, and gross incompetence, I'm like, you're literally just talking about yourself. Very much so projection.
And they're going to destroy our country. But our country has faced down much harder challenges before and come back stronger than ever. That's why I so firmly believe that we can quickly make America a great and glorious nation again.
Okay, but this entire time, as you say, you're making America a great, glorious nation again, you have literally laid out no plan. Just opinions and, like, self-ingratiating nonsense.
When I take office, we are going to restore public safety and the rule of law in New York City. That starts with stopping the pouring into our country of millions and millions of illegal immigrants, which are causing a new category of violence called migrant crime. We have a migrant crime happening now. You add that to the crime already. A terrible statistic. Venezuela was a very crime-ridden country. They just announced a month ago, 67, but now they just announced 72% reduction in crime in Venezuela. In Caracas, they took their gang members, they took their drug dealers, they are emptying out their prisons, they're taking everybody that's a problem and they're dumping them into the United States of America. We're like a dumping ground. But many countries are doing that. I would say eventually all countries would be doing that. If I headed up Honduras,
Whatever happened to the melting pot? You know, it's so weird, this concept of just, like, we can't let people into our country. It's like, isn't that the original point of America was, like, a multitude of cultures and people, like, coming together? What happened to that attitude? What happened to the melting pot?
headed up any one of the countries that are neighboring or not neighboring. And we're not talking about just South America countries. We're talking about countries from Africa. The other day, 22, think of it, 22 people from the Congo. Where do you live? We came from jail. What did you do in jail? We don't want to tell you. They're now living happily. They come from Africa. They come from Asia. They come from all over the world. They come from the Middle East. Yemen. We're bombing Yemen. Here we go with the bombs again. We're bombing Yemen. And people are coming in from Yemen. Large numbers of people are coming in from China. And if you look at these people, did you see them? They are physically fit. They're 19 to 25. Almost everyone is a male. And they look like fighting age. I think they're building an army. There are 29,000 people over there. I think they want to get us from within. I think they're building an army.
Oh my god. Again, I'm gonna skip forward because, like, I'm just like, this is like, I don't know. It's like when you go to Grandpa's house and he's had a couple whiskey shots and he's just going on and on.
They're being raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Nobody wants to talk about it. The fake news will report that, oh, it's so terrible what he said. But it's fact. It's fact. The people are being treated. They're coming up in 100 degrees, and then it's freezing. They're coming through snake-infested areas. It's a hell of a journey, and so many people are dying coming up. If we told them, please do not come up, you're not going to come in, like I was telling them for
we're talking about
they wouldn't come.
Border control again.
Offered, look at California Governor Newsom. Governor Newsom. He offers education. He offers medical care. He offers pensions. He offers everything. He'll even give them an electric car because they're all over the place.
What? Nobody's getting an electric car. What the fuck does that even mean?
How about the electric Band-Aid? You like the all-electric Band-Aid? Not too much. Huh? Does anybody like a car that doesn't go very far? Costs a lot. In Brooklyn, American students at James Madison High School were recently told they had to stay at home from school so their classrooms could be turned into housing for thousands of migrants. Very simply, Joe Biden puts illegal aliens first. I put America first. I put America first.
You know, I would like leaders that aren't saying they're going to put America first. I would like leaders to say that they're putting self-actualization first. Like the actualization of humanity as a whole. Like working to like unity, and not unity in like a hippie nonsensical love everybody sense, accept everything sense, but just like in a very practical, like realistic way. I would like something obviously more teleocratic, something that supports the direction that humanity is meant to go, which is up and onwards and more evolved.
Would anybody, now this is up to you, has anybody heard the snake?
What
Would
snake?
anybody like to hear the snake?
What snake?
We can stay here all night, I don't care. Would you like to hear the snake? So it's a
The snake. What the fuck is the snake?
metaphor. It's an old song and it was redone. It didn't have anything to do with snakes or people or illegal immigration, but this has to do with illegal immigration.
It didn't have anything to do with illegal immigration, but this has to do with illegal immigration. Okay, bud. Let's hear it. So we're gonna... Okay, so what? We're gonna compare, like, migrants to snakes? That's pretty fucked up. Yeah, that's a nice way to dehumanize people.
And I think it's very accurate, actually, and it's very sad. But I'll go and we'll do it, and some of you have heard it, and many of you haven't. But we're going to do it right now for the great people of the Bronx and elsewhere. We love the Bronx. We love the Bronx. Are you ready? On her work, and you know what? You know what this is all about, right? Did you know? You've heard this before? Have you heard it? We got the greatest people here. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, he said. I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived...
Okay, snakes don't eat honey and milk.
She found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite.
I mean, obviously, this is like an allegory probably to like, or an analogy to taking in somebody who's like some guy who's toxic. But like, where is he going with this?
Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for...
Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. And Jill came tumbling after. You see...
Heaven's sake, take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up!
Shut up! I see where he's going with his reference to migrants, though. He's saying if we take in, you know, people from Mexico, then it's like we're gonna get pwned, which is, you know, the narrative. But I don't know who found this poem for him, but I gotta back that up. Shut up!
Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin.
Silly woman. Shut up, silly woman.
You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? So when we allow people from prisons, when we allow people from insane asylums and mental...
Hasn't he said this poem before, though? Am I tripping? Like, for a minute, I'm like, did I just, like, grab the wrong thing? No, it was a day ago, because I swear he's recited this poem now before. Because that totally, like, just the shut up, silly woman. Silly woman. I gotta back that up. I just like the shut up, silly woman.
And now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile.
Shut up, silly woman. Silly woman.
You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? So when we allow people from prisons, when we allow people from insane asylums and mental institutions, which are being emptied out all over the world, you know, their prison populations
where?
are going way down.
What? What the? Wait a minute, back up. Oh, God. We can't even. We can't even get into
terrorists at numbers that we've never seen before. Remember the snake. Remember?
A lot of these narcissistic types, I mean, it's like, they'll just make all these weird accusations, and so much so, like, you can't keep up with it.
For the snake, because you're going to get bitten like you never got bitten before, and you need a new president, and you have to get rid of this person who is not a smart person, not a respected person, and doesn't have a clue what the hell is happening.
Not a clue.
So, that's the snake. Did you enjoy the snake? On day one, I will seal the border and I will stop the invasion of our country. Very sadly, in recent years, we have also seen our city destroyed by bad radical left pro-crime policy that virtually everyone...
Oh, I think radical left was on our bingo card, but I already, like, shut it down. It was totally there, though. The radical left.
Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone, you all know it's a disaster. You know the names of these lunatic policies. No cash bail. Somebody kills somebody. Go out. No bail. Don't worry. Go out and kill a couple of more people. Defund our great police. Defund the police. Sanctuary cities. Release violent repeat offenders from jail. Joe Biden supports all of this insanity and much more, but millions of people across New York know it's crazy. There is no way, when you watch this guy get off an airplane, he doesn't even have to talk. When he falls out of a helicopter, he's got 3 little stairs. It's not that hard. You got 2 railings. You don't fall out of helicopters. You don't fall.
I'm sorry, that is funny. Just talking about, like, just thinking about Biden, like, not being able to find the stairs. You see these stairs? They're all around. I can go up, I can go down. Not Joe. Oh no.
Upstairs. He falls up. He has more trouble going up than he does coming down. That's a little sad. But you're just not going to vote for him. You're just not. We got to win. If we just win the state, it just puts it right. It's such a big state. It puts it to bed. You're going to have a president and people, but you're going to have a president that understands what we have to do. We have to be nice about it, but we have to do things. And we're going to be done. And the world is going to respect us again. We were never so respected as we were 4 years ago. President Xi of China, Putin,
China.
Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary. Very tough guy, known as a strong man. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. Trump loves strong men. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? What about liking weak men? Like, what? What kind of weird, like, shadow confession is this? If it is anything, like, what the fuck's going on? Of all this shit we've heard tonight, this is by far the fucking most confusing and weirdest and just, like, most curious. What the fuck is he talking about with weak men?
Xi of China, Putin, Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary. Very tough guy, known as a strong man. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. Trump.
Who hates it? Who? Who is they? What?
Love strong men. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man. But he is a strong man.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just write that in the captain's log and we shall continue on. What the fuck?
And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up?
I'm sorry, what the fuck? Can anybody in the chat explain to me what the fuck we just saw? Like, what the hell? What is he talking about? Like, is this code for something? Or is this, like, was that just not the weirdest, like, homoerotic thing he just randomly, like, dove into?
He said one simple reason Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better because they were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. Trump was a rather difficult person. But he used the word afraid. I don't use it. I don't use it for...
I think if we were to make our own bingo card for Trump, one thing I would like to do is put, like, that he talks about him in the third person. Like, he talks about himself in the third person. That would be one thing. Because, like, that happens a lot.
I use the word respect. They respected your president. They respected the United States of America. And they're going to do it again, and it's going to happen fast. But we have to get this... absolute disaster. The worst president in history. He makes Jimmy Carter look like he had a brilliant...
All right, we're going to We're going to sklip to the end. Closer to the end. Because, like, at this point, we've been at this for 2.5 hours, and I think we should wrap it up. Yeah, Mark says he's done the serpent and the silly woman routine before. That's what I thought. The moment he was like, silly woman, I'm like, I've heard that. That's like one of my favorite, like, I don't know, like clips of, like, audio clips. Like sound bites. Silly woman. Alright, let's wrap this up, kids.
And that's a long way to come up the hill with, Bruce, right? Come on up, Bruce. Come on. This guy is central casting. If I'm doing a movie on a politician, this is the guy I have playing. Come on. That's great.
Who the fuck is this?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Both my parents were World War II veterans. Not many people can say about that. They would be shocked and appalled by what's going on in this foreign invasion.
Wait, did he just say my parents were World War II veterans and not many people can say about that? Like, a ton of people have had parents in World War II. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, my grandfather... No, my great-grandfather, sorry. Was in World War II.
From our southern border, Nassau County is not a sanctuary county, and when Donald Trump gets reelected, this will not be a sanctuary country. God bless America.
Can you just hear those words? Just take them at aesthetic face value. this will not be like a safe place, or like what did he say?
Be a sanctuary country.
This will not be a sanctuary country. Like, that to me is just so anti, like, unity, like, so anti, like, I don't know, it's very apathetic. It's also very uninnovative. It lacks, it's very, like, we're just gonna think about the country and not the whole fucking world. I don't agree with that. Like, as a Neogenian, I think that is very backwards thinking. Now, like, obviously, I'm not saying, like, just let people flood in, let everybody just do whatever the fuck they want. Like, I believe in some sort of, like, order and process about things. But to just sit there and have that be, like, your slogan, the big thing that you say, like, we are not a sanctuary country, like, we are our own country, like, it's very xenophobic. Yeah, fucking Mark fucking spit it out precisely as I was thinking. It's weird. That's weird. I looked at the word xenophobia right as I thought, like, this is very xenophobic. That is very opposite of, like, what we stand for. Like, when we look towards a teleocracy, a system that unites everybody, that unites humanity together so that we can grow and progress and evolve into something bigger, into something more than where we are at right now. Like, we need to create an environment where everybody can thrive in, not just simply survive, but thrive in and be able to explore their full potential and be individuals, yet all unified at the same time. This is what we need to strive for. And having the attitude of, like, this will not be a sanctuary country, because I can see a lot of border stuff is coming up, and I just think that's such a wrong way to go. Like, obviously there's problems going down in Mexico why people feel like they need to come up here to begin with, and they feel like it's better here than down there. So, like, it's really difficult to have these visions of what humanity should be doing in a teleocratic way, and seeing, like, where we're at now, which is a very, like, xenophobic, like, every country for themselves, like, very, like, isolationist sort of approach.
God bless America!
Good man, good man. Thank you very much. National Committeeman and Chairman Joe Cairo. Joe, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. And Andrew, thank you very much for being our star of the future. I heard you made a good speech. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. We have so many people out there, but we're going to finish this up. This has been, I didn't know. I woke up, I said, I wonder, will it be hostile or will it be friendly? It was beyond friendly. It was a love fest.
It was a love fest. We're all rolling together in the orgy pit. It's a big orgy. We're all naked, writhing around, oiled up.
From the very first day that we take back the White House, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to restore peace through strength. We're going to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. We're going to protect our great seniors, and I will never let anyone touch your Medicare or your Social Security. Under the Democrat program, they will be gone. We are going to restore free speech in America. We are going to fight for your right to school choice, something you all want. And I will not allow schools to impose COVID vaccine mandates or mask mandates.
Oh, we got a COVID mention. Wow, right at the end.
We are going to get far-left Marxist lunacy out of our children's classrooms.
Far-left Marxist lunacy. I mean... Oh my god. You know, we should get into, like, Marxism someday and, like, all that jazz, because I know it's just constantly brought up. It's this thing, and, like, socialism, Marxism, like, all that junk, like, communism, whatever. We should take a look into that and educate ourselves. I mean, I know, but, like, as a topic, I mean, we should get into that stuff.
We're going to keep men out of women's sports.
Oh, there we go with the transphobic shit. I knew it was coming.
and we will once and for all secure our elections. But all of this, saving New York and saving America, starts with telling crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history, you're fired, like the apprentice. You're fired. Get out. You were terrible. You're destroying our country, Joe. Get out. If you want to help, you must vote. I believe that we can win New York State. We have levels of support that nobody's seen before. I mean, look at this. So register, volunteer, turn out, everyone you know. Don't assume it doesn't matter just because you live in a blue city. You live in a blue city, but it's going red very, very quickly.
We'll see.
We must work together as a team to win. New York has always been the home of proud patriots like you. You are proud patriots. You love this. You love this city, you love this state, and you love our country. New York was the city loved by Teddy Roosevelt, Norman Rockwell, the great Flo Ziegfeld, General Douglas MacArthur, George Gershwin, Frank Sinatra, and in baseball alone, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Jackie Robinson,
I mean, right now he's just saying names.
and many, many others. It's the city where workers and skilled craftsmen strode across steel beams 80 stories high to build the great Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building and all of the others. It's the city that lit up the shining lights of Broadway, that turned Times Square from a seedy, dirty, long-forgotten area into one of the greatest crossroads of...
I mean, it is true. He has a lot more energy than Joe Biden. Joe Biden really is sleepy.
...light and glamour anywhere in the world. It's the city that produced generations of everyday American heroes who willingly spilled their blood and gave everything they had to make America into the greatest nation in the history of the world. Above all, this is the place that every one of us here today has been proud to call our home, our town, our city. And we are the ones who are going to make our city great again. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this city, and it is hardworking patriots, and this is something you can say it, and you can say it a million times, and you can emblazon it. It's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. You are going to save our country. We're going to get out and vote like never before. We're going to make it too big to rig. Our vote is going to be too big to rig. It's the one thing they can't guard against.
Too big to rig. I mean, that's your only chance. It's not a rig, it's a scam. Let's call it that. You just want to make the scam big enough to not be called out. That's what that really means.
Together, there is nothing we cannot do and no height we cannot achieve. Together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again.
Okay, settle down, Hitler.
We will make America...
Oh shit, I don't think I can say that word on YouTube. We'll see.
America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America great again. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, New York.
Okay, again, you know, I think my biggest take home was, like, the conversation we had with this, like, xenophobic attitude. This idea, like, oh, we don't want this country to be a sanctuary country. Like, make America great again. Do all this. Like, all of his, like, opinions and dealings with other countries, other things going on elsewhere, it's very separate, likes to keep it separate, likes to only deal with other countries if it's for the benefit of America. And like I said, this is a very xenophobic, like, mentality. And we are seeing this big rise of, like, Christo-fascism, like Christian fascism. And they want to make this like a theocratic nation. This is very concerning. And I think it was David who brought up Project 2025 earlier. We have covered this in the past, but I think we should have like a refresher. I think we're definitely due for that. So maybe we'll look into that. As I said, this year is going to be very politically oriented, especially now that we're getting into like election season. Like this is like the finish line, the home race. Like we're there, kids. Here we go. Biden versus Trump 2.0. So, if it stresses you out, come to my streams and we'll look at this political stuff together and maybe we can just mitigate some of the stress and like think through this and just like see some hope for the future, you know? See a future that's more teleocratic, that encompasses everybody, that supports everybody's right to actualize, grow, and thrive, not just survive, and growing together as a human race, you know, as individuals and all together. Oh, hey, Morik, good to see you. Thank you so much for the super chat. We're just finishing up Trump, and good God, it's been like 2 hours and like 40 minutes now. Holy shit. think we're done with that. All right, so my friends, we have been moving on to different discussions. We have been talking about gaming, doing gaming streams, and last week I was supposed to do that, and then I was like, oh, sorry everybody, let's do it again next week, and that's this week. So here's what's going on. Tomorrow is Saturday. First thing, we have a video premiere from Morgue, and that's going to be really exciting. I'm going to be in there in the chat, hopefully, because Saturday mornings are pretty chaotic for me, so hopefully I'll be there. And there's going to be a live stream by the Neogenian Oculus in the evening, so that's going to happen. So originally, like last week, I was like, sorry everybody, like we'll start again next week. Well, here's the next week, and we got a lot going on tomorrow. So I'm leaning on postponing this like another week. I could do a gaming stream in between the video premiere and the Neogenian live stream, but that I just can only imagine for a viewer, like somebody who loves to just enjoy like Neogenian content, that might be a lot. That might be a fucking lot. So I think we're just gonna lean towards starting gaming next week, because my whole thing is... What's wrong with my microphone? Is my microphone off? I don't know. Something weird going on there. Okay. So like my ideal, and I need to honestly like communicate with Susan and Philip better on this, is I would like to do game streams on Saturdays when the Neogenian Oculus is not streaming. So tomorrow the Neogenian Oculus is streaming, so I think I'm going to take the day off tomorrow. So basically I'm saying I apologize. I already deferred starting the new game to this week, but this week is already busy. We have a video premiere tomorrow by Morgue and a live stream by the Neogenian Oculus. So it's going to be a lot to like shove in a game stream, right? And Sundays, I would say yes, but I like to take some personal time on Sundays, and I do calculus with Susan on Sundays, and that's really important to me. So sorry, my friends, next week, we're going to do game streams on Saturdays that the Neogenian Oculus is not streaming, because I like to take that evening slot. So have patience, and starting this gaming stream thing, this is a whole new thing, and just so you know, the kinds of games that I'm going to be doing are going to be very weird, bizarre, horror puzzle games, or just like weird, bizarre games that get us thinking about, I don't know, stuff that's got some sort of Neogenian tie to it. And I can think of a lot that are just like some weird, obscure games. So if you're interested in that, join me next Saturday when we start a new game. I'm going to be starting a game. It's like a game demo. It's called Dream Core. And there's another one that's similar to it as well. And if you missed the first game I did, we played the pool rooms. That was really interesting. You can go back and see that. So see that in the previous. You can watch the past live streams if you go to my channel. Anyways, if you like what I do, if you like talking about shit that's going on in the world and playing weird games and Neogenian stuff, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, everybody who came to the stream tonight. Shout out to our moderators, Susan, Mark, Cassie, and thank you so much, everybody who supported, everybody who became a member and gave super chats. I really appreciate all the help. I'm definitely like pinching pennies because I have a car repair. Like, I can't drive my car right now, and it's like a little bit hard to get around, and I'm saving up for a repair that's going to be like several $100s. So I'm pinching my pennies. I'm like kind of begging, not really. Like, if you contribute, it would go to that. It would mean a lot to me. But obviously take care of yourself. Like, I have a job, like I'm doing the best I can, but help is appreciated, and for the next while, anything that like comes my way, it's gonna go to that. Oh, Spectral, you mentioned Baldi's Basics, like that game. We're gonna fucking do that. Like, totally. If anybody's familiar with Baldi's Basics, I've seen it played a couple times, but I've never played it myself. Like, we're going to play games like that. Like, weird, just, like, obscure games. So, but anyways, good night to all you lovely people. I will see you tomorrow at the at Morg's video premiere, and then I will also be there moderating the stream for the Neogenian Oculus. Susan, if you want to drop your link to that, that would be great. But otherwise, have a lovely weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take some time off. Be well, be safe, and we will see you next week. All right. Okay. Big face. Good night, everybody.